Do you feel like they treat you differently because you're good, or are you still the gaijin?
I've never understood that. Why do you want to be treated the same way? No, seriously, what's the desire to be treated the same way?
I had 2 years of studying Japanese. I was like one on the top of my class.
Okay, so you came to Japan thinking you were the shit.
And I realized I was the shit, but not in the good way. I was shit at Japanese.
3 textbooks and I can barely string a sentence together, and then people are just switching to English all the time on me. There's something must be wrong with this. So that's the reason why I decided to look for new methods.
It's like driving. You can't just watch it all online and listen to the theory and read your books and then get in the car and let's go and expect to pass a test.
How long did it take you to get fluent in Japanese?
I can say
Japanese is the hardest language in the world for European language speakers to learn. Today we're interviewing 5 people who got fluent in Japanese. They'll share their tips, tricks, and the harsh realities of being a foreigner learning Japanese. Let's get started.
はい。じゃあもしよかったら自己紹介お願いします。
はい、こんにちは。ハリソンです。アメリカ生まれつきなんですけど、アメリカのニューヨーク生まれて、10歳から趣味欲しいなと思って日本語勉強を始めました。本当にピンブザー全部それで始めて、多分最初はその綺麗な発音を繰り返すから、それいい基盤になる。それは最初だったので、それからの勉強はこの綺麗な発音で繰り返して、それで習得できたと思います。実際はアメリカのニューヨークの部屋でずっといて、日本人会ったことないままで、一応ペラペラになったぐらいかな。でも、そうですね。ちょっと1、2年間勉強してから、それでもうアニメとかドラマ見れて、それで自然な日本語を、聞いて、シャドーイングできて、いちいち文章を暗記に入れて勉強して覚えたりしてできるっていうことなので、
で、日本語能力試験受けたことはありますか？
そうですね。一級、もう10年前以上に取りました。それ、全部独学ですね、それは。
もしよかったら自己紹介お願いします。
はい、わかりました。皆さん、はじめまして、ジェシカです。23年ぐらい日本に住んでます。ニュージーランド出身です。今現在、テレビタレントとして、活動してます。あとは埼玉県庁の埼玉県広報アンバサダーとして務めさせていただいています。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
大学卒業してすぐに日本に来ました。働くために日本に来ました。その時は日本語全く話せなくて、子供たちと、インターナショナルプリスクールで働きました。やはり2歳から6歳ぐらいの子供と日常を過ごして、または一人だけの外国人教師で、周りのスタッフが日本人しかいないので、本当に日本語を話せなければなかったですよね。そういうような状況でもうすぐに身について、特に勉強はしてないです。独学です。はい。
はい、皆さんこんにちは。アシアです。私はロシアから日本に来てもう15年経ちますが、20歳の時日本に来て、今35歳です。で、最初は留学で日本に来たんだけど、その前にロシアの大学で結構日本語学んでたから、だいたい N2 ぐらいのレベルあった。日本に来た時で、今は日本でフルタイム YouTuber をやってて、自分の会社も作ったんだけど、まだビザを待ってるから、会社そんなに本格的に始められてないっていう感じ。そんな感じです。
基本的にどうやって勉強したんだ？日本語学校に入学しましたか？
日本で日本語学校、ロシアで大学で2年半ぐらい、勉強しました。
Wow.
So did you.
I'm trying.
A few moments later.
はい、よかったら自己紹介お願いします。
こんにちは、マリです。イギリスから来ました。3年ぐらい日本に住んでいます。自分の趣味はアニメと漫画をよく見たり読んだりして、動画も作ります。はい、よろしくお願いします。
じゃあ何のきっかけで日本語を勉強しようと思いましたか？
大学の頃でみんな日本語の専門を持っている人が多くて、それでもしアニメ 字幕なしで、なんか見ればいいなと思って、それで、大学卒業してから、語学学校に入って、なんか、そう、普通になんか正しいじゃなくて、なんか、伝統的みたいな、方法を使って、で、なんかいろいろあって、今のレベルになっています。
Moving to Japan is great for learning Japanese. But what about all of us who can't just drop everything and move to the other side of the world? I'm learning Korean and Cantonese now without moving countries, and it's thanks to tutors. I get lots of practice through italki. It's a website where I get one-on-one tutoring with native speaking teachers.
でもアウトプットすることをしないと、自分の今勉強している日本語が合ってるか、ミスしてるか、間違ってるか、変な発音になってるかがわからないですよね。自分では。わからないから、インプットを長く頑張ってインプットして、たまにクラスでアウトプットしたりとか、確認したりとか、ネイティブの人と話して、これで合ってるなって。
I am not self-taught, and personally, I couldn't have gotten as far in these 5 languages without the help of tutors. They tailor every class for my needs and interests, speaking and pronunciation. The teachers are very supportive, and if you're a beginner, many of them speak good English. You get to start speaking from your first lesson, even if you don't know a lot yet. There's Japanese and over 150 other languages. If you're busy like me, it's easy to schedule a quick lesson the day before. You pay per lesson, it's cheap, quick, and easy. Click the link in the video description to start your language learning journey. Buy $10 worth of lessons and get $5 off your first lesson using my exclusive promo code. The discounts are only available for the first 50 users, so get in there now while you can.
はい、もしよかったら自己紹介お願いします。
クリスティーナと申します。アメリカから来て、もうアメリカのなんかニューヨーク出身で、14年間もね、日本語勉強してきたんですけど、まだまだです。
で、日本に住んでるけど、旦那さんは中国の方ですね。
そうですよね。もう最初は全然全く英語なんか分からなかったと思ってたので、すごい、2019年だったから、もうそこまでなんか日本語できなかったというか、自信なかった。で、すごいなんか日本語で頑張ってなんかコミュニケーション取ろうとしてて、なんかある日は彼がなんか英語でなんかもうなんか喋り出して、本当に英語できるな、なんでそこまで日本語頑張ってたのみたいな、ちょっと騙されました。今のはなんかちっちゃい娘がいるから、もう英語と日本語は家庭として喋ってるんですけど、娘に対して私は英語の担当で、旦那が中国語の担当で、学校は日本語の担当みたいな。だから3人だったらもうなんとなくもう日本語、英語、中国語でちょっと話してますね。
Wow. I was like, whose kid is that? Hi. What was your main method for studying Japanese?
So when I started learning Japanese, it was through college, taking classes that was very speaking focused, speaking and grammar focused. And then I studied abroad my junior year, and then after I graduated, I had a few years before I moved to Japan after graduation, and I tried keeping up with it through music or like apps where you can talk to people, like Hello Talk.
Do you think it's necessary to have a teacher to learn Japanese?
I think yes. And I think how you define a teacher is it doesn't have to be a teacher in a classroom. You don't have to be taking a class. A teacher can be a tutor. A teacher could be a friend that's correcting you on your pronunciation. A teacher, in this case, could be someone that holds you accountable, that has more knowledge than you, and that can like help you be better in that case. So I would say yes, I think you need a teacher.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you guys say complete opposite things. Do you think people need a teacher?
No, absolutely not. Don't go to class. Don't get a teacher. And especially now with AI, I'm sure you can do even better stuff. I never believed in that.
What was your main thing? What was the most important thing?
Absolutely textbooks, and I think at the time there's this blog called AJET, All Japanese All the Time, which of course I was just looking through the internet for secret learning techniques. This guy kind of had cornered the market of Japanese learning techniques at that time, and he was very vocal about using SRS Anki. So, and it was just the idea of creating a micro immersion environment for yourself, and yeah, it's in the name, All Japanese All the Time. So that's what I want. That's what I did.
You did that in America or here in Japan?
Nah, it's just from my room when I was a kid in high school, and yeah, so I was fully fluent essentially by the time I came to Japan.
Realistically, were you doing like 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day?
I would say on average 4 hours, yeah.
Like every day, 7 days a week?
Uh, yeah, I went pretty hard. Like, yeah, I just come home from school, go to my room, fire up Anki, start sentence mining. And the thing about language learning, which I love, just the process of it, is it's self-motivating if you really like words and sentences, and you're just collecting new ones each time. Like, oh, this sentence pattern, never thought I could use this word in this way. And clicking the SRS button, you get that dopamine hit each time. It's a great hobby. You have to love it, and especially when you have media, like you can use anime and drama to mine sentences. That's fun.
I was watching anime since I was a teenager. So I had the huge, maybe like 10 years of listen to Japanese language.
It sounds like you're partially self-taught, but you also took classes. Do you think the classes were helpful?
Yeah, I think it's necessary for the first step when you just starting to learn any language. For example, I tried to learn Japanese by myself, but it's very hard because even you can't even read. So you need to know the grammar, the words, the hiragana, katakana.
Have you used any apps to study Japanese?
When I lived in Russia, I didn't have even a smartphone.
Wow.
So we had this in my PC. I had this app for just dictionary app
Wow.
and Google Translate.
How many languages do you speak?
I say like 3.5. So I speak Russian, my native language, some English,
Some English. I think you know more than some.
Japanese, like almost native, I think. And I also studying Spanish.
What's the first thing you should start doing?
Yeah, I think textbook is good. I actually used Minna no Nihongo. I believe it's a lot of another textbooks now, but Minna no Nihongo, yeah, it was good. It was very like simple phrases for just daily conversation.
Are you entirely self-taught in Japanese?
I wish I could say that. I went to language school at first for like 3 years, once a week. So only 2 hours a week.
Okay.
And then after that, I just realized, wow, this textbook Japanese, right? It's not really getting me far. Why did I complete like 3 textbooks and I could barely string a sentence together? And then people are just switching to English all the time on me. There's something must be wrong with this. So that's the reason why I decided to just, look for new methods. And then through looking for new methods, trying lots of books and stuff, I came across this method called AJAT, right? So that's, all Japanese all the time. And then during the time, like everybody's trying to just talk about different methods, different ways of learning. And it just came down to a simple fact: interact with native content made for native people and take in as much as that as possible, and you will be able to understand, read, and speak the language. So then I just did that for like 5 years before coming to Japan, right? Yeah, I've been learning Japanese for around 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very long time. I've been living in Japan for 3 years.
How many hours a day were you studying?
Oh my God, at the peak, it was great. At the peak, I was doing something crazy like 4 to 6+ hours. I miss those days.
Per day.
Per day. And then bear in mind, during this time, I never had a day off.
Even living here, a lot of foreigners struggle and fail to become fluent in Japanese, especially to your level. So I want to know, like, what did you do that's different than everybody
Well, I
else?
think it's really important to immersion.
How did you learn Japanese in a time when there was no apps and no Anki, none of the stuff we have right now?
Yeah, really good question. I just watch TV in between my shifts at Nova and then spending time with Japanese kids. Obviously, they are also learning Japanese as well as learning English. So between 2 and 6 years old, they're not like blah, 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 blah in Japanese. It's not very long, it's very, very short.
Okay.
So it's really easy to understand, even for someone who doesn't speak Japanese fluently. Yeah. It was just out of necessity, basically. So the first sort of words I learned actually were keiyoshi, adjectives. So describing words are really, really wonderful and important, and some of the best Japanese I think you can learn. So things like I'm too hot, I'm too cold, I feel sick, I like it, I don't like it. Like that's a really good way to express yourself and have a conversation with someone. So I found myself picking up adjectives really quickly. Yeah.
You're speaking Japanese all day, every day. All your conversations are in Japanese. Your interactions are in Japanese. You probably barely speak English, right?
Well, I'm forgetting my English actually, and I'm getting I get a lot of hate online. Your English is weird. It's like, yeah, after 23 years of not speaking it, honestly, everything just sounds weird now. Yeah.
So in your daily life, you speak more Japanese than English.
Yes, basically.
Wow, that's definitely immersive. Even doing this interview, I hear each person saying completely contradictory things. Don't get a teacher. Do get a teacher. Never take classes. Take classes. Self-study only. Don't self-study. If you want to start studying Japanese today from zero, what's the first thing you need to do?
That's a really good point because I'm trying to think like I tried starting studying Chinese so I could talk to my husband's family and I got like the textbooks or I did the videos and I try repeating it, but if no one's there like holding me accountable, I gave up after like 2 days. I definitely think like a textbook for me. I'd probably get a textbook and then either have a tutor or do group classes. Like I think that's anything for me personally is like I need someone to hold me accountable or else I just won't do it. Like or it'll take me a really long time to get it done. So having something that I have to go to every week or that other people are going to show up to or that I paid for would be the best method for me if I had to start over again.
You mentioned textbooks. What textbooks did you use to study?
When I was in college, I did Genki. I did Genki 1, Genki 2. I did Tobira, the one for like going into intermediate Japanese. And then after college, when studying for the JLPT, I did like the JLP textbooks like Kanzen Master and So Matome. And then when I actually pass the test, I just study the test.
Do you feel like they treat you differently because you're good, or are you still the gaijin?
You'll always be the gaijin, but you gotta play to your advantages. It's never like with ill will though. I've never really had like a bad experience with it, and you just gotta get used to everyone when they first meet you. Where from? Oh, Nihongo Jozu, and go through that. It's just how they break the ice. They don't mean it, like you just gotta get used to it.
I think a lot of people feel discouraged that they get so good at Japanese. Like you could close your eyes and you'd think you're talking to a Japanese person, but because they look foreign, they never quite get treated the same way.
I've never understood that. Why do you want to be treated the same way? No, seriously, what's the desire to be treated the same way? Like, what does it do? It's worse. You get placed all the expectations of a Japanese person, held to a higher standard for everything. I'm just out here gaijin smashing my way through Japan. Let's keep it that way. So,
Do you think you have to live in Japan to get good at Japanese?
To some extent. Yeah.
If you never came and lived in Japan, do you think you'd be able to get this good at Japanese?
No, but the progress would be a little slower. Yeah. And I would only be speaking probably to my husband and if he had other Japanese friends and to, my extended family, Japanese family over the phone and this kind of thing. So I think the amount of times that I could speak Japanese in one day would be very few. If you don't have the luxury of being able to visit on vacation or come over here to work or etc., then I think if you have hobbies related to Japanese things, tea ceremony, kyudo and kendo, this kind of thing, this community will naturally have some sort of Japanese language going in and out of it. And if you're lucky, there'll be a Japanese speaker, there'll be a native Japanese speaker in there. Maybe if you're even luckier. They'll be instructing you, and you can have conversations and that sort of thing. But usage every day, I think, is really important. So being able to talk to somebody online maybe would be really nice.
How much do you think you need to study per day as a beginner?
Of course, it depends on your lifestyle and your like the brain capacity.
You're living in the age of Duolingo where it says 15 minutes a day is like serious learning.
15 minutes? No, too less. I think maybe an hour.
How many hours a day were you studying?
I don't really understand how much hours it was, but I remember my parents told me like, just go outside, go for some walking, like go to, I don't know, play with your friends or something. But no, I'm just keep writing kanji.
At the peak of my studying, and I wouldn't do this the whole time, but at the peak, it was 6 hours a day. Yeah, I'd do that for 3 months and then I'd take a break and go down to 2 or 3 hours a day. And then I'd go back and do these intensive times and then go back to kind of more casual. Casual was 2 or 3 hours a day. What YouTube channels have you found useful for beginners?
So for beginners, I think there's a channel called Cure Dotty. That's like this kind of like VTuber like avatar which teaches grammar in a way. There's also Tokini Andy, right? He goes through the whole Genki textbook and he teaches you from zero all the way to a decent beginner / intermediate standard. And there's also Game Gengo as well. Game Gengo teaches Japanese through video games. So he breaks down the sentences, all of the new words and the grammar structures, and he, goes from there. And Game Gengo has something which is really interesting. He has like a game video textbook where he teaches you all the way from the N5 grammar to N3 grammar and gives you real world video game examples for each of the grammar points which are included. So if you all of that, right, that can really bring you to a decent standard. So set goals, have mini goals, don't give up, and just keep walking forward.
Yep. Well said. If people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
So they can find me on all major social media platforms, mostly Instagram and TikTok, at Mobile Mali.
Check him out. You can get some Japanese practice through watching Mali's content because he interviews people in Japanese. Okay, thank you so much for your time, Christina. I really appreciate it, and it was great to see you again out here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming out to the countryside.
If people want to find you on social media, where should they go?
Look me up on Instagram at Tokyo_Harry, Harri. I'm out here doing street interviews with all kinds of people from all walks of life come to Japan, and get you some interesting stories for sure.
And if you want to get used to hearing Japanese on the street, follow Harry Boy, and you can hear his Japanese street interviews. He's way braver than me. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's all a good time. I love it.
If people want to follow you on social media, where can they go?
Yay! Okay, so I am on all social media platforms as Jess in Tokyo, even though this is Saitama. So Jess in Tokyo. I'm everywhere, so please follow me.
All right, go check out Jessica's channel. I've interviewed her 2 times if you want to see our past interviews up here. And she does a lot of cool martial arts stuff. If you're into that, check it out. If people want to follow you on social media, where can they go?
Oh, you can check my YouTube channel. You can also try to learn Japanese with it.
Right. So Ashia-san has an entire channel entirely in Japanese. Everything is Japanese. If you want to get some listening practice, go follow her on YouTube. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wahoo! You made it to the end of the video! If you can't get enough of these, you can instantly unlock dozens of unseen videos by becoming a YouTube member or Patreon member. It goes to support the channel, and I really appreciate it. But in the meantime, I'd also appreciate if you watched more free videos today. You can check out this one and that one and this one and that one. Go ahead, binge a whole list. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!